Greetings everyone. Today we continue our exploration of Prabhuji's book, Bhakti Yoga, The Path of Love. In our previous meetings we discussed the dedication and started reading from the Preface. We read we started from the first chapter, and as I mentioned in our first meeting, this is not one-time read. So after watching the recording, I felt that there is so much more that we could say about those few sentences, and although we need to advance, there are a few things that I wanted to maybe clarify to myself, and hopefully it will be beneficial for you as well. So we are going back to the preface, and what we read last few meetings was this paragraph. Prabhuji writes, "The story of my life is nothing more than a long journey from what I believe myself to be to what I truly am. It is a tale of transcending the personal and the universal, the partial and the total, the illusory and the real, the apparent and the true. My life is a flight beyond the temporal and eternal, darkness and light, the human and the divine. This story is not public, but profoundly private and intimate." So in this opportunity, I would like just to add a few points to what we already spoke. So when Prabhuji speak about life as a journey, as I understand this, he inspires us to change our view on life, to change our attitude, and to try to live our life and be present in every single moment of it. And it's easier said than done, but if even if we aspire to live in this way, it will completely transform our quality of living. That's the joy of discovery that Prabhuji is guiding us to. This is the way he writes. His books are not some dogmatic truths or even philosophy. It's an invitation for us to think. And then Prabhuji writes, so it's a journey, and this is our life, and this is another point that I wanted to kind of bring again to the discussion, that when Prabhuji speaks about his life, he not only share his experience, but he invites us to look into ours. And if we look into it, we can see that the life, a human life in general, and life in general, but in humankind, with this manifestation of self-awareness, it's definitely applied to us, and it makes us truly human. So our life is a journey. And then Prabhuji say, from what journey where? Which journey? Prabhuji say, it's a journey from what we believe ourselves to be to what we truly am. We spoke about belief, this concept of that maybe everything we know about ourselves and about world and about life it's maybe just a belief, and we have a lot to contemplate on that. But then there is things, what I truly am, Prabhuji say, or what we truly are. He guides us. It is that if we believe ourselves to be someone, if we believe ourselves to be something, and in our case we believe ourselves to be someone, a persona, with certain name, certain form, certain gender, certain nationality, certain ideas, concepts, beliefs. And then Prabhuji speak about, and this is very significant, of what I truly am. Not who I truly am, but what I truly am. And this is very fundamental point, because in a way this statement put in front of us an axiomatic truth that we need to accept when we begin our spiritual journey, regardless which path we follow. And then we ask, so what is that truth? So before I present this definition, it is very important for me to explain a few things. That truth that we're going to discuss it's impossible to know. We can only speak about it. That's hence we say it's axiomatic truth, that it's a starting point for a direction of an exploration. This is something that cannot be perceived by the mind. This is something that can't be really explained by the mind. This is not something that I experience, although, as Prabhuji say, and as scriptures and enlightened beings throughout the history exclaim, it's our reality, it's my reality in this very moment, based on the testimonials of beings throughout human history. This state is true. And not only true, but this state can be experienced by every one of us. We cannot grasp that, but we can become that. And even more than that, Prabhuji and all the enlightened beings from all the traditions all over the world in different ways, in their own language, within their own tradition, they all declare that you are that we are that. Like one of those great Mahavakyas from Sanatana Dharma tradition, Tattvamasi, you are that. So what is that fundamental truth? That fundamental truth, expressed in different religions, in different languages, in different traditions, we can say maybe in slightly different ways, but this ultimate truth say that there is one and only one reality. In Sanatana Dharma we call this Brahman. And even Brahman, this definition, is just one of the more abstract definitions of that reality. The sages of antiquity call it that. And this is the most abstract definition. If we want to explain more, they say it's Brahman. And we want to know more because with the limitations of our mind, it's so difficult to grasp. So what Brahman is, they say Brahman is Sat, which is infinite existence, Chid, infinite knowledge, the wisdom, intelligence, and Ananda, the infinite bliss. And this is Sanatana Dharma tradition. We see it in Prabhuji's writings on the Hebrew revelation, that when Moses encountered the divine and asked, so who you are? Who would I say send me? The divine reply, Iye Asher Iye, which translated roughly, I am what I am. And in the Hebrew tradition, that defined as living, existing God, which means that life, existence, in all its form, including us, is the divine. And Hebrew tradition go even farther than that and say that there is absolutely nothing exist but that. There is no place empty from the divine. And it echoes in Islam in declaration that Allahu Akbar, which means that Allah is great. Then we could ask, how great? What are the limits? How great He is? And then you will get an explanation, there is no limit. It's the same encompassing reality that everything that exists reside in it. It's that infinite space that everything dwells in it. Everything that we able to see, everything that we're able to perceive, everything that we're able to think about, and so much beyond that. So obviously we can talk about it and it's very inspiring, but this is not how most of us see life. And it's one of the paradoxes, in a way you can say jokes of existence, because if we accept this axiomatic truth, and this is very important, and this is the place of belief, it's not exactly belief, but trust. In Sanatana Dharma, we don't really have this concept of belief, but we have concept of Shraddha, which translated from Sanskrit as trust. So, in order to walk the spiritual path, we advise, as we spoke before, to seek for the spiritual master and under his guidance to trust in this axiomatic truth, because the enlightened being, a genuine spiritual master, he is a manifestation of that. He touched that. He experienced that. He saw the truth. He lives in that. And at the same time, he is an embodied being. He is like us. So, as Prabhuji say, this is the place where this infinite Brahman and this limited entity, as we believe ourselves to be, meet. He knows us better than we know ourselves. But at the same time, he is already beyond of all those things that we want to transcend. So this is the axiomatic truth, and this is, in few words, it can be said so much more about that. This is what we aspire, what Prabhuji is talking when he say, what I truly am. And this is what we aspire to be. This is the direction. And in order to move in this direction, we need to trust in this axiomatic truth And then, but not only trust. Only trust is insufficient. We need to take it as the fundaments of our inquiry. And we need to take the words of our spiritual master and of the scriptures and other realized beings who worked this path before us, and to inquire into their words, inquire into their guidance, inquire, not accept it blindly, not imitate them, but genuinely, if we want to realize that, if we want to find that, if we have a calling in us, we need to accept this fundamental truth. We need to accept the guidance of our spiritual master and the sages, and to inquire into them. So I really hope that this summary added something to what we previously discussed, and will give us some material to contemplate until the next time.